Hello all you beautiful people out there. I hope you have had or are having a fantastic day. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Salem, the teenager who talks about teenage stuff because there simply isn't enough of it on the internet. If you guys are new around here, I'd appreciate it so much if you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps support the channel. Your guys' support has been incredible recently, so keep it going, guys. I really appreciate it. Because can you believe that it's been more than a year since I've said that intro? Because I can't. It feels like just a week ago that I started to start this crazy journey known as YouTube. And I think it's safe to say that I've learned a lot of things along the way. Some of which are technical, you know, like the editing stuff and all that, but some of which have transferred over to real life. And I never thought YouTube would have affected me the way that it has. Today I'm going to tell you about some of them. If there are any of you guys out there who are, maybe contemplating about starting a YouTube channel, I definitely recommend that you guys do. And especially after hearing the next 6 things that I'm about to tell you, I'm sure you won't regret it. The first thing that I've kind of noticed being on YouTube for a year now is that you don't really see as much hate as you think. You look at some of the big YouTubers and you go through their comment section and it's like hate after hate after hate and everyone's going like, oh my goodness. Well, that's because they're the big YouTubers and generally they're just nice people out there. Those odd few that you do see on those main streamers or on those main YouTuber platforms is like, they're the minority. They represent a minority, but for the most part, there are a lot of nice people on YouTube. Look at some of the comments that I'll throw up on screen right now. It's like, damn, dude, people actually are appreciative of your content. They have nice things to say and they actually want to interact with you, ask you questions, ask you how your day is going, wish you all the best. It's quite nice. And the odd hate that you do get, I've received some hate in the past, either from my friends or in the YouTube comments. Let any hate that you get, fuel your passion, let it motivate you, let it be the reason you continue doing YouTube and that you continue pursuing what you like doing the most. The second thing that I've learned being on YouTube for more than a year now is that you'll learn quite a lot of cool skills. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you learn a lot of technical skills, some of which I didn't think I would ever be able to do. My editing, if you look at some of my first videos, I remember making some Canva, Snapchat, Instagram pop-ups and then just letting them slide in, slide out, to what I do now with all these fancy like smooth transitions and like weird screens that come up. It's quite fun as well and enjoyable. It's challenging. Being on YouTube and kind of putting out content on a regular basis forces you to try harder than the last time, try something new, try a new editing technique. So that's where YouTube really builds upon your character and kind of builds upon your technical skills as well. You learn a lot of new things editing. I know it might seem daunting at first, but when you start, the process becomes a lot more enjoyable and a lot smoother the further you get into it. And there's more to it than just the technical aspect as well. You've got the lighting that you don't see behind the camera. You've got, kind of the room setup back there. It forces you to be creative and try new things. If I didn't do YouTube, I probably wouldn't have gotten those LED lights and probably wouldn't have cleaned my room before every video. Wait, what? But in all seriousness, it does open up a whole new alley and a whole new pathway you guys never even thought possible. You might be completely terrified of any editing software that you come across. Trust me, it's not that bad. YouTube makes that journey a whole lot easier. The third thing that I've seen happen, and it happens more on quite a regular basis, is that YouTube manifests itself in your life. And let me show you what I mean by that. Talking to a camera at first is really weird. If you go back and watch some of my older videos, it's a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. But over time, I think I've gotten a lot comfortable talking to the 3 little circles that are on the back of my iPhone camera. And that kind of translates into real life. You get so used to talking to a camera that it kind of makes it a lot easier to talk to other people and kind of publicly speak. What I'm doing here is essentially practicing public speaking without, a live audience. Instead, it's you guys behind your screens. And, that whole process makes it a lot easier to be better at public speaking, either in real life, when you're in school, when you're participating in a debate. And it's actually a really cool skill that you never thought you might learn. And it's not only public speaking, it's conversations in general. You might be absolutely awful at, engaging in small talk, engaging in just small conversation with another person. But doing YouTube and kind of learning to think of things on the spot and things to say on the spot is really beneficial when you're trying to communicate with someone. Another really cool way in which YouTube manifests itself in the real life world is when people actually come up to you and say thank you for some of the videos that you put out. Now, I'm definitely not at the level where I just have random strangers coming up to me and asking for photos, asking for autographs. No, and I probably won't be there for a little while. But when it's your friends coming up to you, or some of the people that you might have not thought actually watch your videos, they come up to you and they say, oh, hey, that video was super cool. It helped me out a lot with, personal projects. I've gotten a lot of friends come up to me or during class say, I've watched a video on the iPad Pro. It really helped me pick which one I should buy and which one I should use for school. That's really cool. If you can make small changes in someone else's life, that makes the journey a whole lot more worthwhile. I'm fairly sure it's also gone to the point where teachers have seen my videos, which is kind of strange at first. It's a little bit awkward. I remember getting called out by my chemistry teacher once. He was like, "Oh yeah, Salem, YouTuber." And I was like, "What? How do you know about that?" But we're cool now. That was fine. A little bit awkward at first, but it's just a casual thing now. The fourth thing that I've started to realize, and it's pretty cool actually, is that you become a lot more creative in real life. One of the challenges of YouTube by far is trying to think of new ideas every single week. I still do it. It's not as hard as you might think, but it might kind of put off a lot of people. You know, it's a daunting idea of trying to come up with something consistently, put out videos on a weekly basis. It can be quite challenging, but as you get better at it, as you do it for an extended period of time, you get a lot more creative with your ideas and you learn to look at, you know, potentially old video ideas from a new perspective. Some of the things that you might think are fairly obvious that you actually don't mention in YouTube videos, somebody else might not think it's that obvious and somebody else might not actually know what you mean by that. So you can go like, oh hey, I can make a YouTube video on that entirely. And then you start to shift your perspective. You can really start putting yourselves in other people's shoes and think like, oh hey, what do my audience really want to see? What do they need to see? What have they been requesting to see? And even though you might think, oh no, this video probably won't get a lot of views, people aren't really interested in a topic like that, they already know what's happening, trust me, give it a shot and you never know, that video might blow up. When I was doing the iPad Pro 11-inch versus 12.9-inch, I was like, there are already so many videos on the internet on this exact same topic. It's like, why should I do a video on it when people can just go watch other more popular YouTubers, you know, someone who gets 2 million views, someone who has 10 million subscribers. Like, they'll much rather prefer to go watch that. And then it's my most viewed video on the channel. So I was like, oh, hey, you know, so things you might not think are that big are quite significant to other people. Now with YouTube, there's always a problem. Somewhere a recording crashes or an audio file crashes, or you don't get enough time to edit, or you need to re-edit something that's so small but makes a world of a difference. Problems are always arising when it comes to the world of YouTube, and problems are always arising in the real world as well. So that's where it comes in handy when you learn how to problem solve. Improving your problem solving skills isn't just beneficial from a technical context. Having a group project, doing something in school, doing something with your colleagues, if you guys ever have a problem that you need to overcome, you're there with your newfound creativity, with your newfound problem solving skills, and you can help. You can offer a valid perspective on how you could potentially solve the issue. The fifth thing that YouTube has really helped me realize over the past few years is that you do not need to be a professional to start something new. And that's not just in terms of YouTube, you know, you don't need the fanciest equipment, the fanciest lighting, the fanciest setup in order to be able to make a start. Even with any other activity that you want to pursue that you're maybe like, oh no, I'm gonna get judged, oh no, where do I even start? I don't have the equipment. No, don't let that bother you. Just start with what you have and then progress onwards. I remember I used to be so bothered with having the best equipment and making everything look super professional, but that's really not possible at the beginning because you don't know what you're doing with editing, you don't know what you're doing with filming, so it's best that you start off with what you have. I started off with my iPhone 7, I'm still recording on my phone, it's just that I have a slightly new phone because my iPhone 7 kind of died on me. The lighting setup that I have behind my phone, it's not some super $2,000 lighting setup or $10,000 lighting setup, whatever YouTubers use nowadays. It's literally like a 30 dirham ring light. It's the equivalent of about $10 that I bought off of Amazon and just kind of illuminates my face. Those LED lights that I bought, also another $10 that I just put up on my bed. And yeah, that's the setup I'm rocking. It's really nothing super advanced. And you don't have to rock anything advanced either. And this doesn't just apply to, you know, a context of YouTube. You guys can translate this to anything. If you're worried that you don't have the equipment or that you don't have the means to start something, start with what you have and do what you can in order to make progress towards your end goal. This reminds me of something really cool that I heard, it's like you can't start at the top because nobody does. You can't start at the top because then you won't have anywhere else to go. You have to start somewhere at the bottom or somewhere close to the middle and then start working your way up. That's just how YouTube works. It's those early videos, it's those beginning stages that shape what your journey is going to be like, and take that as you will, apply it to whatever you will. But you know, recording with your phone, recording with the worst lighting setup, that's what makes your channel, and that's what shapes your audience and your personality. Your initial viewers are going to love your content and love you for who you are, not the equipment you have. Trust me, work with what you have to provide value to your audience, and over time your equipment will come with it. And number 6, the last thing on my list, is the importance and value of perseverance. Now, I've been on YouTube for a year now and I've been grinding out videos. I think I have 67 videos, including this one, on my channel. Believe me, some of those came easier than others. Some of the ideas came easier than others. On some days, I did not want to record. It was 11 p.m. at night. I just finished a long, busy day of studying. and then I had to record. I was super demotivated, but then I thought, hey, there might be someone out there who'll find this video useful. As much as I'd like to say there's a super deep meaning behind all of this, perseverance really does help with whatever you do. Not giving up, that's what's going to set you apart from the rest of the crowd. Trust me, if you stick out with it for long enough, you're going to see the results that you're after. And that's with anything in life. And that's why it's such a good lesson that I've learned from YouTube. Anyway, guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me for a year now. It's been absolutely crazy, such an amazing journey. We've gone on a lot of cool adventures, and trust me, there are a lot more to come. Summer is going to be exciting. I'm going to be in a new country, and there's going to be a lot of content coming your way. So let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps support the channel. Without further ado, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a fantastic week in front of you, and I will see all of you guys later.